James Gunn's self-deprecating cameo as himself in Rick and Morty Season 8 couldn't have been timed better. Rick and Morty Season 8, Episode 7, Ricker Than Fiction, pokes fun at impossible-to-please fans who think they could do a better job with their favorite franchises, as Rick and Morty set out to rewrite Gunn's latest movie about superpowered trees. Gunn plays himself in the episode, satirizing movie studios who want to incorporate generative AI into the filmmaking process. When Rick invents the Movielizer, a device that churns out movies based on prompts, Gunn becomes hell-bent on stealing it and exploiting it for his own Warner Brothers productions. Gunn was game for every self-parodying gag in the episode. Gunn was the perfect choice for this because he's not only a famous filmmaker, he's also a studio head. A couple of years ago, Gunn was hired to co-run DC Studios with his producing partner, Peter Safran. Both Rick and Morty and the DCU are owned by the same parent company, and this was a brilliantly outside-the-box way to use the former to market the latter. Gunn poked fun at his approach to franchise filmmaking just days before he's set to launch a whole new franchise that's hoping to go on for as long as Maximum Velocity. Gunn's self-parodying guest role in Rick and Morty proves that he's the perfect person to manage the new DC universe. The problem with the last DC cinematic universe, pioneered by Gunn's Rick and Morty co-star Zack Snyder, is that it took itself too seriously. But Gunn clearly doesn't have that problem. He doesn't even take himself too seriously. Since DC Studios is about to release its first movie, Gunn's Rick and Morty cameo couldn't have been more perfectly timed. Gunn's Rick and Morty cameo was perfectly timed because it aired the same week that Gunn is launching his rebooted DC universe with the release of Superman. Gunn's role in the show is to make fun of movie studios that keep exploiting their familiar IP for endless sequels with diminishing returns. The episode makes fun of the formulaic story structure and underdeveloped characters of these sequels, as well as toxic fans who will never be pleased no matter what happens in them. In the episode, Gunn's never-ending franchise is called Maximum Velocity, a ridiculous story about superhero trees, but in real life, it's the DCU. Gunn poked fun at his approach to franchise filmmaking just days